Tobin and Leroy here with you on 560 WQAM. Taking you guys up until 2 o'clock. We are continuing here as we are on Damian Lillard watch here down in Miami. Marlins are rolling. We got some fun happening. But, Leroy, big time card coming up this weekend.
Yep.
UFC 290. We got International Fight Week, and this man has been a phenom thus far in his UFC career. It's very fun to watch him in action every time that he steps in the cage. Bo Nickal, Leroy, check this out. Bo Nickal, his fight so far, 33 seconds, 1 minute, 2 seconds, 52 seconds. And then Bo was kind enough to give us almost 3 minutes his last time out. So yeah, that was very nice of you, Bo, to give us 3 minutes your last time out. Thanks for joining us, man. Congrats on the great start to your career so far.
I appreciate it. Yeah, thank you guys for having me on.
So go ahead, Leroy.
It seems to me in MMA, wrestling seems to acclimate to mixed martial arts a lot better than all the other types of fighting. Do you find that to go into it with a wrestling background, it enables you to learn the other stuff because you can hang your hat on the wrestling portion of it?
Yeah, I think that there's a few things that factor in there. I think one, just with wrestlers, you get a different type of lifestyle, right? Very disciplined, very regimented, a lot of structure. You know how to train. You understand how to prep for competition, things like that. And that's a big benefit. And there's just a lot of high-level coaching and high-level competitors in wrestling because it's a sport that's been around for so long. And so I think taking all of those elements and bringing them into MMA allows me to have a pretty big learning capacity for these other martial arts. And for me, I had some good advice from a coach that told me to respect the other martial arts the same way I respect wrestling. And so that's what I've been doing, and taking that mentality that I have had years and bringing it into all these other elements of the game.
Bo, we got kind of a look behind the scenes on the UFC Embedded of what this week was like for you with finding out the opponent switch. But mentally, what was that like, man? You're obviously, there's so much spotlight on you at such an early part of your career. Were there doubts of I don't know, I want to keep going? Did you have to get talked into it at all? What was that process like to decide I did want to go through with this weekend's event?
Well, I wanted to go through with it for sure. I mean, no matter what. Obviously, unfortunate circumstance, my opponent pulling out. And so at that point, I was just assuming that I wasn't going to get a fight just because it's so last minute, and who's gonna take that fight. But fortunately, we had an opponent accept, and I was ready to go. So quick turnaround there. But yeah, for me, I love competing, and I'm ready to compete.
Did you feel like this is going to be something that you might have to deal with throughout your career? It's got to be, imagine, very hard to get fights for you right now in your career because everybody knows what they're up against with you. So do you feel like this might be something that you do have to deal with as another hurdle that you'll have in your MMA career?
I really hope not. I've been very fortunate up to this point. This is the first opponent that I've had that's backed out of a fight. I was able to get multiple amateur fights, my pro fights. Nothing really crazy happened, but I think this is just part of the game. And so, for me, I would hope that moving forward that we would be able to match up with guys who show up. But if not, it's all good. We'll figure it out when the time comes, just like we did, this time.
When you get a guy like this opponent change, how do you game plan for that in a couple of days? Is it mostly just focusing on yourself? Do you look at film of Val, or what is the research like on such a quick turnaround like that?
Yeah, I'm a big film study guy, so I'm definitely watching as much film as I can, and trying to tailor a game plan for my specific opponent. Of course, we don't have a lot of time, so I can't really train for hours and hours and implement different things. But I feel well prepared just because I've worked on my foundation, worked on my base, my agility. So any opponent that I have, I'm going to be able to implement a game plan that has different nuances in it and specific to that person on the fly. So yeah, I feel well prepared, and I'm excited to, like I said, excited to compete.
What other of the arts did you find just fascinating to pick up and be able to use in your fights? Because I would imagine there's certain things you couldn't do in wrestling, and now you're in MMA and you're like, oh yeah, I can't wait for this.
Yeah, it's definitely awesome being in MMA with, it's such a wide open sport that, you have so much opportunity to be creative. And, I love learning all the different martial arts, all the different disciplines. And I wish I would have even started younger. I don't necessarily actually wish I would have started younger, because I love that I have such a strong wrestling base and I was able to focus on that. But nowadays I love training jiu-jitsu, love training Muay Thai, I love boxing, I love all those sports. So for me, my goal by the end of my career is to be able to compete at a world-class level in all these different disciplines.
I would just, Bo, like, is your following from your college fans crazy? Because I'm always imagined with Leroy, he's a Michigan legend. I'm always imagining Michigan alum are walking around all the time.
I was going to save that to the end because I didn't want to piss him off before we got to the end, and you just spoiled it.
I just wanted to, do you have Penn State people coming to you at all points because you're representing such a proud athletic program and school all the time? So what is that connection that they see you on this stage that's like the UFC, along with what your great collegiate background is with them?
Yeah, first off, I don't have any beef with Michigan. I'm undefeated against Michigan. So is my beef with Michigan. All good there. But as far as my following with Penn State, it's really been amazing. Having competed at the university for 4 years, and the support I still get from alumni, from the community. I live in State College still, so I'm with the wrestling team all the time. I watch their competitions. I try to give back and help the college guys when I can. And, I love representing Penn State. I feel like so proud to have been a Nittany Lion. And I definitely think, the largest alumni base in the world has been riding with me for sure through these fights. Anytime I'm walking through downtown, I always get a lot of support. And, people.
Whoa. Where do we get that stat from?
Largest alumni?
Yeah.
Back, check it out. I want to say.
All right. I'll check it out.
Yeah, Penn State's the largest base in the world. Yeah,
I know they're big as hell.
For sure. Yeah, but I'm grateful to be a part of it. Like I said, I still live in the area and stuff, so I love supporting.
Isn't it cool to you did your 4 years in college? A lot of guys don't. And to be able to have that experience of a college atmosphere, even if you're doing it as a profession now, there is nothing greater than being in that atmosphere for any sport, man. Isn't it great? It's awesome.
It's incredible. I think for me, one of the things I miss the most is just being with the team, traveling, everybody together, having fun, going and whipping ass, and then headed back, do it again next weekend. It was that was such a great time, something I'm really grateful for. And one thing that's cool about my situation now is a lot of us are still really close, a lot of my teammates, and I actually have 4 or 5 of my teammates here with me. I'm staying at Airbnb, and I have 4 or 5 of them staying with me, and we're all still together. A couple of them want to fight professionally, a couple of them are still wrestling, and some of them are doing other things, but they're all here. And it's cool to kind of almost, I feel like I'm reliving those college days every time I have a fight.
But was there ever, we're down here in South Florida. I know you spend some time down here every once in a while with Coconut Creek at American Top Team. Was there ever a level of, come on, this guy's walking in here with all this hype? Is there a rookie hazing type of thing or at all when you walk into such a big time gym like that? Is it welcoming right away when you come in as such a hot shot prospect?
Yeah, everybody so far has been very welcoming and excited for me, which is really cool. Like I said, I love that team environment and the team aspect. Even though I compete in individual sport, I think team is super important. And since I got to ATT, it's been nothing but love and support. And a lot of those guys, I respect a ton. I want to learn from them. They want to learn some wrestling from me. And so there's a good relationship there. And I feel fortunate to be part of the ATT.
You guys can watch Bo Nickal coming up, UFC 290 on pay-per-view, ESPN Plus pay-per-view this weekend. Before we get you out of here, Bo, look, man, it's not just that you fight. People like to see how you go about there, how dominant you've been. How much trouble is Val in this weekend, dude? What you gonna do to him?
I think first and foremost, I have a ton of respect for him just for taking the fight on such short notice. That's definitely a big challenge. And so for me, I'm just going to go out there, compete to the best of my ability. And, I believe I'll get the win, whether that's in the first round, whether that's I have to go 3 rounds. I'm prepared for anything. I'm going to go out there and compete. That's what I'm here to do.
Do you feel any element though? Like, cause people have seen, you've been a buzzsaw through people, Bo. Like, is there any element where you're like, no, they're going to see something that's going to even wow them a little bit. There is a showmanship to you. You even did this in front of Dana White. Like you there's a specialness to you, man. Like, do you feel any elements of pressure on that to not only win, but win in style?
A little bit. I would say that, you definitely feel pressure, especially given my last few fights, how they've gone. You want to keep up that trend. But for me, I just always have to refocus and focus on what's important and what I've learned from 20 plus years of wrestling experience. And now, my short time in MMA is just, you don't focus on the results. You focus on your effort, your attitude, doing your best. And that's how the results come. You got to do the little things and have a strong foundation and in order for the big things to happen and the highlight stuff to happen. So for me, that's what I focus on is the little things. And then, the highlights come on their own. I don't worry about them.
We appreciate the time, Bo, man.
Well,
enjoy this week.
I'm going to say this. Don't tell nobody. All right. You ready?
I'm ready.
We are.
Penn State.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Wow. No, I'm recording.
Hey, Bo, I'm doing that because we like you. But I don't want to hear about this in Ann Arbor now.
Good, man. No worries.
All right.